Good morning to you and welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for a Wednesday morning. Nice to have you with us. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, Congressman Dan Kildee will spend some time with us. This morning at 11 o'clock, we're going to learn about Shelterhouse Midland and Restaurant Week. That will be on focus. We'll have open phones later on this hour, but we're going to start out learning about films and a film festival returning to Saginaw. And to tell us about that, we say good morning to Irene Hensinger. Irene, good morning. Okay, let's start out with the name of the film festival so everyone knows. How many? Wow, I was going to ask how many years that's been that long, huh? Wow. So, yeah, go ahead. Okay, going to get you to I got to get you to back off your microphone a little bit or turn down the volume on your computer, one or the other. It's coming in loud. Try it. Try it. That's a little better. Yeah. All right. So, what are the dates for the film festival this year? You mentioned the Court Theater. So, is that going to be your sole venue for this particular festival? Yeah. Besides, they have the best popcorn in town, right? I mean, let's be honest. That's true. All right. So let's talk about these films because there's always a pretty good variety. What's going to be showing this year? And what time do these get shown? Ah, is there a an online site where they can see what the films are and when they play? All right, now I'm going to take you out of the film festival for a moment and put you back in the principal's office. Uh, Irene, for those of you who don't know, was principal of, you were principal of Handley? Yeah, I thought so. And uh, the Saginaw School District was blessed by the voters with a $100 million bond issue, which I have to tell you, when I first talked to the superintendent about it and he threw out the number, I'm going, oh yeah, right. I figured it was an opening number and they'd come back and negotiate something after the first defeat. When it passed by a 60 some odd percent, I went, wow, was I wrong? Uh, what were your thoughts when you heard about that? And what are your thoughts about the rebuilding of the district? And how about the new high school, Saginaw United? What are your thoughts on the consolidation? All right, one last important question. You were in education for much of your life, Irene. There is a huge apparent shortage of teachers and people wanting to go into that profession today. What would you tell a young person about teaching and why they might consider it as a profession? You've been a good role model, Irene. All right, so let's end where we started. Remind everybody the film festival is when? Mm-hmm. Very good, Irene. Good luck with the festival, and I'm sure we'll talk to you before the next one. All right, Irene. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye now. Irene Hensinger, we thank you for joining us. Again, it's Riverside Saginaw Film Festival.org for more information. Tell you what, let's see if we can give away some money. It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Stone Specialists. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour is second. He slid into second base. Second. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. And the Baseball Bucks is presented by Stone Specialists on WSGW. We take a moment here to talk to you about Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. If you drive around, you look at dealers' lots, you don't see a lot of automobiles because the new cars just aren't rolling off the line like they did. So, what are you going to do if you want a new car? Well, I would suggest if you're in the market for a Honda, and who isn't, because they are one of the best cars on the road, Thalen Honda is the place to go to secure a new Honda while it's on order and while you still can. And remember this, too, with gas prices where they are. Honda was ranked first among all full-line automakers in the 2021 EPA report at 29.1 miles per gallon, 3.7 miles per gallon higher than the industry average for the 2020 year. Plus, the 2022 Honda Civic wins the prestigious North American Car of the Year award, and the Honda Ridgeline was ranked first among the longest-lasting trucks. So see for yourself. Stop in at Thalen Honda on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City today to see what's in the pipeline. Reserve the car of your dreams before it's too late. And by the way, if you're looking to move up to a pre-owned vehicle, the Thalen dealerships, and they're all lined up right there on North Euclid Avenue, have a huge inventory, one of the largest in the Great Lakes Bay region. So stop in, take a look at all of the pre-owned vehicles, which, by the way, are inspected and brought up to their standards, or go online to thinkthalen.com. The Thalen Auto Group and the Thalen family has been serving your automotive needs now for 45 years. We'll be back after these notes with open phones for the remainder of the hour. All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. Open phones for the remainder of the hour, and Don is in Saginaw. Don, good morning. Well, part of it at least has to do with COVID because early on, I understand. Let me finish, Don. Let me finish, Don. Uh, the state, um, because plates were not being issued in a timely fashion, suspended the requirement. I have not heard, although I'm pretty sure they must have gone back to requiring it, but I have not heard that that's official. Uh, I would have to think that these people, I would have to think that these folks can get their plates. I mean, I got my tab with no problem, and I would think that that thing is probably expired. What do you say? Yeah, but you don't know where they're going either. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying don't judge a passing police car just because it passes because you don't know where they're going. You don't know what their purpose is for being there. But I think that the time has come that some enforcement should be done so that we get back to equal here. I'll tell you how you do it. You go to the sheriff and ask him to deputize you, but you'd have to be. It takes more than that because you'd have to have police powers to be able to make the arrest. So, good luck. Well, then you still do have the authority, don't you? I'm not sure. Do you carry that authority with you after retirement? Oh, you're federal. Okay. Yeah, my dad was federal. So, all right. Yeah, my dad was Treasury. He was. He was. You. If I give you the GS, would understand where he was. He was. He was. When he passed away, he was. He just made it into GS 15. So, yep. Well, listen, keep at it because you're right, but I don't see an easy solution right now. Yeah. Yeah. If they had the manpower to do it, I'm sure they would. They don't. That's the problem. That's the problem. No, they're shorthanded. Everybody is. I had lunch. I had lunch yesterday with some from law officers, and the one department that I talked to is 20 officers short for road. 20. It was a good sized department, obviously. Yeah, he's working overtime. Yep, they pay for the they pay for the academy. Yeah, but you know what happens? Here's the rest of that story now, Don. Saginaw Police Department, they pay for all of that, and all the other police departments cherry pick those people. That's what happens. Well, it is in a way it is, but they're all in the same boat, So it's kind of amusing. Anyway, yeah. Well, it's reality. All right, got to run. Take care. Thanks. Bye bye now. And let's talk to Scott in Saginaw. Scott, good morning. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I heard that. I wasn't there that day, but I heard that, and I agree. It's listen. We've become so polarized in this country that if you have an opposing view, you're viewed as radical, and that's too bad. We're all entitled to our opinions. We're all entitled to our politics, and we're all entitled to speak freely about it. So there you are. All right. All right. Good enough. Scott, you too. Thanks. Appreciate it. Let me see here. We better take a break and then we'll get to Chris and Al when we return here on the Art Lewis Show. And we return back to our phones. Chris is in Midland. Chris, good morning to you. Hi. Right. That was the. Go ahead. That the rules. The final rules. The final rules, Chris. When the final rules came out, they allowed communities to use part of the ARPA money to recoup losses that occurred during the pandemic. So if you're a governmental entity, a city, a township, whatever, and you lost X millions of dollars in tax revenue and other revenue during that time, you can replace that revenue with some of that ARPA money. And then that can be used for your normal expenses. It actually allowed communities to circumvent the original rules, which, for example, said you could not use the ARPA money for streets and roads. But if you take that money and replaced lost revenue with it, that money could be used on streets and roads. So it was like a workaround. But yeah, they are allowed to do that. And then why is that funny? Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, they opened the door for him. Exactly. Well, but what you're no, but now you're allowed to do it. The final rules allow you to do it. That's what they did. They in those final rules, they allowed cities to do that. So what Saginaw is doing is using a portion of their ARPA money to replace lost revenue, and they are holding back the remainder to be used on other things that they will determine through the committee they've set up. And by the way, they're not alone. Almost every community is going to do that. It's not a loophole. It's a rule. It's the rule now. It's not a loophole. It's a rule. You can thank the federal government set up the rules. Yep. All right, Chris. Take care. Bye bye. Okay. Yeah. Bye bye. All right. Let's turn to Al in Midland. Al, good morning. Morning, Al. Morning. Yeah, it's available. It's available. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Well, there are a number of people driving without plates on their car because I've seen it too, and it's a carryover. Because they were working from home. Because they were working from home, and they don't have the printing machines at home. Well, yeah, but that's yeah. Well, sounds good, but yeah, it sounds good, but I don't know that it worked that way. So, but things are getting back to normal. That's good. Well, well, it was more. Let's come on now. Let's be realistic. Come on now. It's more than a little hiccup in the road. Give it a break. Come on. I mean, that's more than a little hiccup in the road, and she just happened to be the one that got caught with it. I'm not sure anybody else could have done any better or any worse. I just, it was never know. That's exactly right. We'll never know. No, I hope not. I hope not. I hope it doesn't happen in mine either. Good. All right, buddy. Thanks. You too. Bye bye now. You bet. Take care. Bye bye now. All right, we'll take a break, come back, and when we return, we'll get to Greg and Mark. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones. Greg is in Bangor Township. Greg, good morning. We're doing well, thanks. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got a check. Yep. Here's the way it works. The way it works is if your insurance company has on record your bank account information where they've put money before or what have you, then they will auto deposit into your account. Otherwise, they'll send you a check. So, yes, the answer is yes. Well, it's they have until May 9th. And it's been, every company's been doing it a little bit differently. My company sent me a notice that they were processing, and then they actually sent the check. So they're all different. You're welcome. Take care. Bye bye now. Mark is in Munger today. Mark, good morning. Good. Yeah, yeah. Oh, they're too busy chasing the emu. Liberty. Go ahead. I don't know, but there is a story. There is a story. Let me find it here because I pulled it out and put it in my stack. Yeah. Biden now considers delaying the Title 42 repeal. I think he's heard the voices in the wind. But the headline was that he is now considering delaying it because he's had some pushback from within his own party on it. So, I mean, and what last couple of weeks ago, 221,000 was the record for that period. It just, I don't know. I just cannot understand how they can allow that situation to happen at the border. Your country is only as good as your borders. No, because you're already an American citizen. You're already an American citizen. You have the disadvantage coming across the border. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, and and in this case, I certainly blame Biden for the increase in the influx coming across the border, but I blame the U.S. government and Congresses over the last 20, 30 years for not addressing the issue properly and not taking immigration seriously enough to do something about it. So, and you can say a lot of things about Trump and his wall and all of that stuff, but at least he tried to tackle the issue. And it is an issue that has not been tackled by Congress after Congress, by administration after administration. And we're seeing the results of it. And something has to be done because you're only as good as your borders. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Absolutely. Yeah. Was I wise? Was I that wise individual? Because I say that all the time. All right. Listen. Listen, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Take care, Mark. Bye bye now. Mike is in Shields. Mike, good morning. 1,200, right? Yeah. Nah, he knows. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. because it's continuous anyway. I mean, those supplies are continuously arriving, have been since the beginning. Yeah, I do too. I mean, that to me is ridiculous. And it's so simple because, as I've said before, they wanted American pilots to fly the Polish jets to Germany. So then, then the Ukrainian pilots could pick them up and take them to Ukraine. I'm saying, why not just send the Ukrainian pilots to Poland and pick the planes up and be done with it? They know how to fly them. No, he knows. Of course he knows. It's all over the place. Yeah. Heck with the Russians. I just, yep. All right. Hey, I got to run. Take care, Mike. Bye bye now. We'll take our last break. We'll be back to close out the hour here on WSGW. All right, that'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back with Congressman Dan Kildee after the 10 o'clock news coming up next here on WSGW. Well, good morning to you, and welcome back to hour number two of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW from my second on Spirit Home Studio. Nice to have you with us on what's turning out to be a sunny but kind of chilly Wednesday here on the middle of April, moving toward the end of April already. I don't know where time's gone; it just flies. We will be spending a little time this hour with Congressman Dan Kildee, and we say good morning to the Congressman. Good morning. Thanks for being with us this morning. Uh, there's a whole bunch of things going on that you're involved in, so we'll just run down the list here to start. Uh, the one I want to start with is this compromise on semiconductors, which is important to all of us. You were appointed to a conference committee seeking bipartisan compromise on semiconductor and China competitiveness. What is that all about? Give us an idea of what the outcome you're looking for is. Yeah, I tell people all the time, if it weren't for compromise, we wouldn't have this country because the founding fathers couldn't agree on very much. They had to compromise. They had to compromise. I have to ask. Yeah, I have to ask this question, Congressman. Pandemic has taught us all a lot. We don't want to receive our drugs from China, all of that. You would have thought the auto companies learned a lesson and would want to invest on their own. Is it Are tax incentives necessary just to get the auto companies to do what's in their own best interest to start with? Sure. Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to see that come back to the United States. We do have the raw materials. We have a number of companies right around here producing some of those raw materials that are necessary. So you would think that it's logical to make those chips in this country and avoid that supply crisis. Um, let's talk just for a minute. The president has temporarily lifted the ban on E15 fuel. What's your thoughts? Sure. Let's take a look for a minute at the southern border. The president is considering delaying the repeal of Title 42. I know when he announced he was going to, he came under criticism from both parties, some members of both parties. What are your feelings on it? Congressman, I get you to hold on for a segment. Got to take a quick break here, and then we'll be back to chat a little more with Congressman Dan Kildee, and we will do that. But first, let me see if I can give away some money. It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Stone Specialists. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour is left, L-E-F-T. The batter hit the ball to left field. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Stone Specialists on WSGW. We'll be back. All right, we're back with you in conversation with Congressman Dan Kildee. Congressman, a couple of other pieces of legislation I know you've been involved in. You introduced some bipartisan legislation to protect Michigan families from lead. Uh, this is not a blanket for all families, though. This is for those in federal assistance, right? Mm. I- correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the infrastructure package have water line replacement money in it for the whole state? Now, is the infrastructure bill also responsible for the transportation dollars that we're getting? So let's talk a little politics here just for a minute because the district has changed in the next election. What changes in your district? How big? Yours is a pretty fairly large change, isn't it, for you? Have you officially announced your rerun as a candidate? All right. Well, we'll I'm sure talk to you down the road here many times, and we thank you for your time this morning, Congressman. Let me ask you before I let you go here. What's the next big issue for you? What's in the pipeline now, or is this one of those years where, because of the midterm election, nothing major gets done? Mm-hmm. And Russia, Ukraine, any thoughts on that right now? You, I had to. My mind works, I guess, in strange ways. I We had heard that Poland had the big aircraft that the Ukrainians need. They wanted Americans to come and get those aircraft and take them to Germany, so the Ukrainian pilots could then come and get the aircraft. Why didn't the Ukrainian pilots just go to Poland and pick up those aircraft? Yeah. Hey, right. Which is why I asked why the Ukrainians just couldn't cross the border and pick up those jets themselves. So I guess it just seems to make sense. Yeah. All right. Right. Yeah. All right. I promise no more questions. And I appreciate your time this morning, Congressman. And always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye now. Congressman Dan Kildee, we thank him for his time this morning. We'll take a break. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour here on WSGW. We'll be back. Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour, and you can give us a call at 989-752-6111, and we would be happy to chat with you no matter where you are. By goodness. As I mentioned to the congressman, the president is considering delaying Title 42 repeal. Makes sense because I think he heard the voices. Obviously, there was tons of Republican opposition, but there was also quite a number of those within his own party that opposed it. And we just talked to Congressman Kildee about that. Immigration is a subject, as I've said many times, that just gets kicked down the road time and time again. Something needs to be done. This Congress or the next Congress, some Congress has to sit down, debate a plan, put forth a plan that seals the borders, but allows a certain amount of immigration. I'm not against immigration. This country was built by immigrants. It's not immigration, it's uncontrolled immigration. That's the problem. So, anyway, Joe is in Fenton, so let's head down to Fenton and say hi to Joe. Good morning. We're doing well. So how much is he responsible for that, though? I have to ask that question. It's a serious question. Well, on a national level, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that one. That's an interesting story. That's a big piece of land that something should happen to it. It'd be a great place. Be a great place to build a chip plant, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah, but hang on, Joe. First of all, the colleges and universities in Michigan turn out qualified people every day. Now, the other thing is the old adage is build it and they will come. If you're going to build a chip plant that has high paying jobs, which they all would be, don't you think that qualified people will come to work at that plant? I do. Oh, I disagree. I disagree. Yeah, I understand that, but Michigan had to change the way it does. Michigan has to change the way it does business. We noticed, we saw that in the battery plants from Ford going to Tennessee, and that's woken a lot of people up in Michigan. Oh, I understand that because where the jobs were, but isn't well, don't you think it works both ways? Well, I think they are now. I think they've woken up. They had to. I have two sons that live in Detroit, and they seem to be doing okay. But that's the way I look at it. So I don't know. I just, it's Okay. Good enough, Joe. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. All right, that opens the lines up for you. Give us a call here on the Art Lewis Show, and we'll take a break and be back after these notes. And we return with more on the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday morning. And let's go back to our phones. Dan is in Bay City. Dan, good morning to you and welcome to the program. Right. Yep. Yeah, human resources. Yep. Yeah. Now you understand they don't make chips. They make the raw material what they do. And a lot of their raw material is used solar panels and things of that nature. Right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. I just think, yeah, I think I think the reality is though it's nice to have those facilities in Bay County, the chip plants and all of that. But in the scheme of things, they're dropping the bucket. We need some huge facilities to supply what we want to replace coming out of China and Taiwan and places like that, because they supply, the overwhelming majority of the world's chips come out of there. So we need a lot of big factories. These are good. Don't get me wrong. Great to have them here, but we need a lot more of them. Yeah, we need a lot more of them though. Absolutely. Well, yeah, but the 12 million, I'm not sure about the 12 million. I'm not sure where they came from and how they got here. But the borders were not as the borders were not as open as they are now, and it's not just the fault of this administration. It's been going on for a long time, and and yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. It's interesting. I'll have to look. All right. Well, we're not doing anything. That's the problem. We need to do something. All right. Good enough, Dan. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Take care. Bye bye. Now that was the line. Saginaw Bay City 752 everywhere. 989 752 6111. I'm not used to not saying the old phone number that we don't use anymore. Uh, as you know, the judge in Florida, and her name, I had it here somewhere, Catherine Kimball Mizell, she ruled that the CDC's mask requirements for public transportation was illegal because for a number of reasons that she cited in her verdict. And now the Justice Department, which said it disagreed with the ruling, would appeal it if the CDC says the mandates are necessary. The CDC, while it says it's studying the issue, has been quiet on its feelings about it. So justice has taken no action, and they won't take any action unless the CDC says that they believe the mandates are necessary. Personally, it's just a guess on my part. I don't think they're going to do that because they were giving a lot of consideration to whether or not even extend it. They were going to extend it until May 3rd just to get a feel for how things are going. So I don't see a big push to go against this judge for a matter of a week and a half. By the time they actually got it through, the mandate would probably expire anyway. So I think that we're not going to see. This is a guess now. It's just a guess and opinion. I don't believe we will see a return to the public transit mask requirements on planes, trains, and all of that. Now, understand, individual companies and authorities can still require it. New York City, I believe it's still requiring it on the subways. Stars, right here locally, announced that they will continue to require masks at least until they can determine how COVID is impacting the community and if there are any increases. So time will tell. Let's go to Dallas, Texas, and Bill is listening down there. Bill, good morning. Yeah. Yeah. But I am right in saying that, Congress after Congress, administration after administration hadn't done anything about it. Trump, whether you liked him or not, at least made some effort. He may not have liked the solution, who knows, but at least he made an effort. Yeah. 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 I know. I feel sorry for him. Yeah. 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 And that's the levels we don't think about up here. You're absolutely right. Hey, well, look, Bill, I appreciate your input. Glad you listen from time to time. Thanks a lot. You too. Thanks a lot. Bye bye now. John is in Freeland. John, good morning. Morning. Really? I don't know anything about it. I remember the shooting. I didn't hear the follow up though. Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember the follow up. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know, but I'll have to look into it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll have to look. I'll do it. All right, John. Thanks. Take care. Last call goes to Jerry in Bay City. Jerry, good morning. Got about a minute. Jerry, you there? Dropped. Okay, let's take our last break, and then we'll be back to conclude on the Art Lewis Show. All right, that puts another edition of the Art Lewis Show in the can, as they say. Thank you for participating. Coming up on Focus, we're going to learn about Shelterhouse Midland and their relationship to Restaurant Week. That will be coming up after the news, but before that, CBS News will bring you up to date on the world and the nation, and we'll have the local report on the region and the state. I'm Art Lewis. Thanks for being with us here on WSGW. Talk to you right after the news. And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis. Nice to have you with us. And our program brought to you by RoofMax. Safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com with two X's. Or call Ben at 989-859-6751. And today we are going to learn about Shelterhouse Midland and Restaurant Week. And we have a couple of special guests to do that with us this morning. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Good morning. My name is Denise Berry, and I'm the Executive Director of Shelterhouse.
Hi, Denise.
Hello. My name is Allison Baldry. I am Director of Fund Development with Shelterhouse.
All right, let's start, I think, Denise, with an overview of Shelterhouse Midland and what it's all about and what you do.
Of course. So Shelterhouse is a comprehensive domestic violence and sexual assault resource center. So we have one of the biggest services that we have is we provide emergency shelter to anyone who's experienced or has experienced domestic violence and or sexual assault. We also have counseling, we have transitional housing programs, permanent supportive housing programs, and advocacy is a big part of the work we do. So when someone does experience domestic violence or sexual assault, our staff, our team, we walk with them on the journey of healing.
How long has Shelterhouse Midland been around?
About 40 years.
Oh, quite a long time then.
Yes.
You haven't been there the 40 years, obviously, but in your time with Shelterhouse Midland, have we made any progress in reducing the problem of domestic violence?
That is a tough question to answer right now because the pandemic's kind of throwing things off.
Yeah.
So I would say Midland and Gladwin, the communities we serve as a whole, have made progress. But it's still a community problem that we're seeing everywhere, and it takes a community to work through that.
All right, so let's turn to the fundraising side of things because I see the association with Restaurant Week. What is that all about?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that one. So we're starting next week, Monday on April 25th. We're launching Shelterhouse Midland Restaurant Week, and it's a partnership with 28 local restaurants throughout Midland County. And it has a couple of different goals, Art. We're really excited about it. One is to raise funds for the free and comprehensive services that Shelterhouse provides for survivors. And the second goal is to, while we do this, infuse economic empowerment into our community by supporting and encouraging people to go out to eat at these local restaurants who are committed to empowering survivors. And then the third is to launch a community-wide conversation about healthy relationships and cultivating these healthy relationships over shared meals, because domestic violence and sexual assault can be very isolating experiences. And we want people to know that they are not alone, that help is here, and that they are worthy and deserving of help and support and having beautiful, healthy relationships in their lives.
And the fundraising aspect is how?
Yeah, there's a couple different elements. One, we've had about 30 local businesses be very supportive through sponsoring the event, which is very generous. And then all of the participating restaurants are doing two things. One, they're incorporating something fun for people that is a little bit outside of their norm when they go there to go out to eat, whether that's half off appetizers or a free taco with their meal or like a free protein ball. And they're also incorporating something philanthropic. So each of them are, when you go out to eat at one of the participating restaurants, you're going to get to round up your bill for survivors, or $1 off of every drip coffee you have is going to go to survivors. And it has both of those elements. And then additionally, we'll be seeking donations from our community because we exist because our community is so supportive.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll come back and talk more with our guests from Shelterhouse Midland, and more ahead after these notes on Focus.
I didn't hear any audio.
I didn't either.
All right. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. We were wondering where we.
My fat fingers didn't push the buttons right. I asked when you didn't hear me what the question I had, talking about some of your services. Do you provide shelter with a name like Shelterhouse?
Yes, we do. We have 48 beds in our shelter and 15 units. And what's kind of unique about our shelter is that they are individual units. And so we can have a family who stays in their own apartment versus just communal living.
You answered my next question. Is it family friendly? And obviously it is. And you almost have to be in these situations, don't you? Because if you're going to take the victim out of the house and that victim has children, you have to get children out too then.
Right. It's the majority of the people who stay with us have children with them.
It's a sad commentary, isn't it? When you think about it, I just, I guess for most of us who lead, quote, normal lives and don't get involved in these kinds of things, it's really hard to understand what causes it.
For sure, Art. And again, this is a systemic problem that goes back to, the age of the start of time, right? So what we can do is, as we educate, we make more awareness of services that are available, and we get more community resources involved in order to help, not only to address, but prevent, right? So one of the other things too, and you asked that great question about family, is the other thing is we are one of the few shelters in Michigan that actually you can bring your pet to. So we are a pet friendly shelter. So we know research says that there's a little over 70% of people who would not really leave an abusive relationship because they fear for leaving their pet. And they don't have to do that. They can bring their pet with them.
That's a scary number. That's a scary number. Do they come to you directly, or are they referred by enforcement? How do you get them?
So it's both. We have a lot of self-referrals. We'll have referrals from different community partners that we work with inside the county, outside the county. So it's really a mix. And that's one of our biggest things. It's awareness, is getting people to know that we're out here. There's other agencies like us in Michigan and across the country that do this work, and they're out there too. So whether it's us or a place like Underground or Bay Area, the help is out there.
You mentioned you have 15 units. On average, how full are you?
Always full.
Really?
Yes.
That's a sadder commentary than the rest.
We just built a new 25,000 square foot building in the last couple of years through the generosity of our community and being able to do a capital campaign. And we probably could have built twice or three times the size as far as units, and still filled to capacity very frequently. So
how are you funded?
We are funded by a combination of philanthropic dollars, federal, state grants, corporate grants, and individual contributions.
And let's talk again, because I want to leave people with this. The restaurant week, how is it going to function?
Yep, so it's starting on April 25th and it runs through May 7th. There's 28 participating restaurants taking part throughout Midland County. They can find out the entire list at midlandrestaurantweek.com or on Instagram or Facebook at Midland Restaurant Week. And really, to take part, they just call up their friends or their family and they go out to eat, or they meet up with a friend for coffee, or they meet up with someone they haven't seen in a long time and just go to connect and have a conversation with them. There's also a dining passport available for download on the website, and it'll be available at some of the participating restaurants as well. And if they go to 6 of the participating venues during restaurant week, they can turn it in and be entered to win a night at the Loons, to good night of baseball, which is great. And then there's also going to be a silent auction. A lot of local businesses donated items where they can also go to the website and see what local goods that we have up for bidding there.
And the address of that website is?
midlandrestaurantweek.com.
Oh, it's that simple. MidlandRestaurantWeek.com.
Mhm.
And if somebody wants to make a direct donation, do you have a website?
Yep, it's shelterhousemidland.org/donate is the direct link to make a contribution to Shelter House. The link is also on the Restaurant Week website as well.
Well, ladies, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We appreciate it. And good luck with Restaurant Week. Hope you make a lot of money.
Thank
you so much, Art.
And,
really appreciate
and
it.
a lot of awareness, because the awareness is as important as the money, isn't it?
Asking for help can be someone's greatest strength. So I want to honor the bravery of the people that call us. It's really wonderful. Shining help.
And if we could, I'd like to talk about our crisis line number.
Yeah. Oh, please do.
So if someone is experiencing domestic violence or sexual assault, they can call us at 877-216-6383. And that is staffed 24 hours a day. So you'll always get someone to talk to.
And is that number also on the website?
It is.
Yep. Very good. Thank you very much for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Art.
Thank you,
Yep.
Art.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Shelterhouse, Midland, and Restaurant Week. We'll take a break, come back, and get ready to find out what's happening in the marketplace when we return with Baird and Company. I'll do the word here if you want to interrupt the break. I'll do the word whenever you play the thing. All right, it's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Stone Specialists. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour is third. He stole third base. Third. Alpha Media Company-wide contest must be 18 or older to play. The winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks, presented by Stone Specialists on WSGW. And